Welcome, friends and neighbors. I'm Pat Rogers, and this is Pat's Southern Kitchen. We're located in our 1910 house, Charles and I are, in McKinney, Texas, up in North Texas. And it's been a beautiful sunny day, and guess what? Thanksgiving is right around the corner. It's next week. Now, we launched Pat's Southern Kitchen 2 weeks ago, and we've had overwhelming response from all of you, and we thank you so much for your kind comments. Now, one of the things that you really requested was some Thanksgiving sides. Now, you know, 2 weeks ago, my very first video showed you how our family made the traditional Southern cornbread dressing. And you all thought that sounded yummy, and it did look good. Now you have asked for sides, and with Thanksgiving so close upon us, I wanted to share some with you. Now, every Thanksgiving, somewhere in it has to have a good corn casserole, a good corn pudding, whatever. Corn is very important. So I got out my very favorite and family favorite corn pudding, it's called. It came out about 2014 in Southern Living, and my daughter put a big mark on it and said, do not forget, this is the one, because every year I'd go out and try to find another one. So it's been our tradition at least since 2014, and I think you'll like it too. So let's start with the cast of characters. Now right here, this is everything that's going to go in it, you understand. And we've got, of course, we've got corn, and I'll have to tell you, it's over here already. But here's your symbolic. I used about 8 ears, which equaled 5 cups of fresh corn. And then it called for a cup of chopped onion, and that's about half of an onion, because here's the other half. Called for 4 whipped eggs, and there they are. I get the big jumbo ones. I love those. And of course it has half and half, and it has regular milk. It has unsalted butter to saute the onions and the corn. It has goat cheese, and that's what's left of the goat cheese that I have already prepared, and that calls for a cup, but I'll tell you as we go along. And then of course it has good cheddar cheese. So I think, oh, and it's got basil. And I'll tell you about this basil in just a minute. So let's move right over here. And you're going to see, let's get a good close-up of this. Isn't this pretty corn? And I have sauteed the cup of onion and 5 cups of fresh corn right here. I sauteed them 4 or 5 minutes. And there, I'm sort of letting them cool now while I go to the next step. All right, I'm going to put the spoon right there, and we're going to turn around, and we're going to get the big bowl now and get it going. And I'll sort of move our eggs over to one side because they're just sort of symbolic here. I've got our eggs already. I'll move all this over so we have a little room. There we go. Now, the first thing is required is to take the eggs, and we're going to be sure we whip them up. Now these are 4 jumbo eggs, so let's put them in there. Now, got to get them all, so I'll put that over here. And then it called for a cup of half and half and a cup of regular. I use the 2%. So let's pour all that in there. And I'm going to get out my bigger whisk. I think I'm moving up here to the bigger whisk. Now, you also are going to slide in a cup of goat cheese, and you've got to get that all blended. Now, I've softened it. I put it in the microwave a little while to get it all going, to get it soft, because it's got to whisk into this corn mixture, because this is the basis for the corn mixture. So, let's see here, let's get that and get it off. Got that going. Now, we're also going to put in, let's get that really good and whisk. Got to get it all mixed in there. And that cold egg sort of stopped it right there. Now this is a teaspoon of, actually it's a tablespoon of kosher salt and 3/4 teaspoon of fresh ground pepper. So we're going to put that in there. And then it called for a tablespoon of sugar, because this is a fairly large recipe. You'll want to serve a fairly large crowd with it, maybe 10, 12 people. So that's why it's got so much in it here. Now, I think, let's look at this. Let's see if it's blended enough, because now what we're getting ready to do is, let's see, we're going to add this. Now this calls for a cup of shredded cheddar, but what we're going to do is not put it all in there. We're going to save some for the top. So just so you have enough for the top. And so we're going to get all that in there. And then I talked to you about basil. Now, see, it's wintertime around here and it is cold and my basil froze. So I go to, let me show you this. I go to, this comes from Trader Joe's. I'm sure other places have it, but it comes in little cubes, and each cube is equal to 2 to 1 teaspoon. And this calls for 3 tablespoons of fresh basil. So I'm going to get out my handy tablespoon here, and I don't think I'm going to put, this may not equate exactly to what fresh would, so this is about 4 cubes. So we're going to leave it at that, and you can also get the fresh, at your grocery store. So, and if you're out gathering up all of this, be sure and do that. So, all right, we're ready. Now, the only thing missing is the corn and onions. So, I'm going to move right over here with this bowl, and we're going to start taking all of this. Now, I've done this in a big cast iron skillet, and I can guarantee you that I can't lift it gracefully here, so it has to be spooned in. As I said, this is fresh. Now you can get the frozen fresh packages, and that would be another way of doing it. You would unthaw it and then measure out 5 cups, but I find it very easy just to take the corn on the cob and strip it off and get all the good corn milk that comes loose from that. I think we about got that. What do you think? Let's get this last spoonful. All right, that'll do. Now, let's see. I think I'll start with this. I think I'll start with this spoon and put that right there. And we'll really mix this up good. Now, see, this makes a lot of corn. Now, you have several choices that you might choose to bake this in. And you set your oven, with my O'Keefe and Merritt old-fashioned oven, to 350. So, we've got it heated over there. Now, my goal, I chose this. It's a little small probably, but I thought it would show up well. And it needs to be a 2-quart container. And so what I had, some of them were 3 quarts. This is approximate. So we're going to use it. And let's see if I can pour this in there without spilling it everywhere. Let's see, there it goes. And I sprayed it this time with some avocado oil. So, well, it's a filling up. Let's see here. I'm going to go down to the bottom and make sure I've gotten the corn and the onion. You gotta have all of it. And let's see here. You know what? I think I'm just gonna put the whole thing in there. And I don't think it's gonna rise and go over. We'll soon see. Okay, I think I'll just leave the juice in there. Now then, we're gonna take this and very carefully put it in this hot oven. So let's move back. Let me get my handy dandy pot holders here. And I'm gonna put this in that oven. Here we go. Now, this is gonna cook quite a while. Let me get it in there. There we go. Now, it's gonna cook at least an hour, and it may be more like 70 minutes. But what your key is here is that when you put a knife or something or a spatula down into it, if it comes out clean, of course, it's done. But you see, and it'll get a little brown around the edges. But we're going to come back and visit this when our hour is up. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back, and the corn pudding casserole is coming out of the oven. Now, I'm going to get it, and we're going to put it right up here. And I have a confession to make. I forgot to put the cheese on top after I finished it, so I added it soon thereafter. But anyway, it is a beautiful golden brown, and I have tested it to see if it came out clean. And I could tell you anyway that it did, because it's nice and firm. So we have one beautiful corn casserole that I do think your family would enjoy. Now, I'm going to break into it here. Which side do you think I need to do? And we're going to put it on my Thanksgiving plate. These are my Friendly Village that I've had for many years, and it makes a beautiful Thanksgiving recipe meal. So I'm going to cut into this so that you can see the texture. And I'll tuck it under like that. You can see sort of what it looks like, and that's a nice size serving for somebody. So you see, you'll have plenty more servings to go. So that is from Pat's Southern Kitchen, and I will be doing tomorrow a wonderful sweet potato. It's not a casserole, but it is whipped and it has wonderful caramel sauce on it. And I will get that to you from Pat's Southern Kitchen before Thanksgiving, so look for it. Now, I had several questions about my cranberry sauce, and I have to admit that I have tried many over the years, and I go finally back to the whole berry sauce. And let me close this, and I'll show you. I went right ahead and started some, and this is so complicated, folks. It's on the back of the Ocean Spray. This is the large bag, so you use 3 cups with a cup of sugar and a cup of water and bring it to a boil. Wash your berries, then put your 3 cups of berries right in there, and I'm using a spatula, but I believe you can tell it's not quite ready yet. It needs to cook a little bit more, but as soon as all the berries pop, takes about 10 minutes, so cut your heat down, simmer it, and when it gets to the point you like it, put the lid on it and let it sit a while, and then you can refrigerate it. Isn't that easy? Anyway, I go back to that because I think it is so good. Now, blessings from Pat's Southern Kitchen. And I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Take care. Bye-bye.